In this video, we'll show you how you can install your Multipure stainless steel drinking water system below the sink. The installation instructions are similar for the AquaPerform, AquaVersa, and AquaMini systems. Watch these instructions in their entirety first before you begin the installation process. First, you'll need to collect the necessary tools. We recommend a 3/8" reversible drill, a 1/8" drill bit, an 8" adjustable wrench, channel lock pliers or adjustable pliers, and a Phillips tip screwdriver or drill bit. If you'll be installing the filtered water faucet on a granite or other masonry type countertop, you'll also need a 1/2" diamond hole saw and some plumber's putty. If you're installing on a stainless steel sink ledge, you'll need a center punch and a 7/16 or 1/2" high-speed drill bit. It's also a good idea to keep some rags handy and a bowl or basin to catch water. Now that you've gathered your tools, it's time to check all of the parts that were delivered with your drinking water system and prepare them for installation. Remove all of the parts from the box, including the stainless steel housing, the installation fittings and tubing, filtered water faucet, mounting bracket, and filter cartridge. If you're installing the AquaMini system, the filter cartridge is shipped pre-installed in the stainless steel housing, so you can skip the next step. Install the MC730 inlet fitting with the red collet in the offset port on the top of the stainless housing. This fitting comes pre-assembled with plumber's tape to help verify a good seal. Using the adjustable wrench, tighten the fitting in place. Note that in some cases it may not seat flush to the housing. You can tighten it more later once we do our leak verification. Repeat the process with the MC720 outlet fitting with the blue collet in the outlet port at the center of the top of the housing. Repeat the same process as the previous fitting. To install the filter cartridge into the housing, first remove the clear plastic wrap from the filter and the paper filter instruction wrap. To open the housing, turn the black knob counterclockwise until you're able to disengage the T-bolt from the locking V-band. In most cases, you'll need to remove the black knob completely from the T-bolt. Open the two halves of the housing and inspect the silicone seal cushion on the threaded post in the top of the housing. Also inspect the O-ring located around the outside of the base of the housing. Insert the filter cartridge by threading it onto the threaded post with the silicone cushion in place. Hand tighten the filter cartridge, but be sure not to over-tighten as to strip out the plastic threads on the cap of the filter cartridge. Reassemble the stainless steel housing and verify that the locking V-band sits evenly, holding the flanged ends of the housing together, and that the O-ring isn't pinched through the flanges. Replace the T-bolt, assuring that it is sitting flat in the V-band notch, and re-thread the black knob. Hand tighten the knob. To install the filtered water faucet, select a good location on your sink deck or countertop. Select a location that is free from obstruction underneath so that you don't damage cabinets or plumbing when drilling the hole, and so that the faucet tubing and threaded post are accessible. Mark the location with a marker or center punch. If drilling through a granite, quartz, or tile countertop, use the 1/2" diamond hole saw. First, use the plumber's putty to build a circular dam around the desired location. Fill the dam with about a 1/2" of water. You'll want to place a bowl underneath the cabinet at the approximate location of the hole because water will drain out once you've drilled through the counter. The water will help keep the drill bit cool and will control the dust. At a medium speed, start drilling at an angle to cut a groove in the countertop. Maintaining a slow to medium speed, gradually tilt the drill upward to drill straight through. Don't press too hard on the drill and allow the drill bit to do the work, gradually grinding through the countertop material. Pressing too hard as the drill bit penetrates through can cause tear out on the underside of the countertop material. For sinks with a stainless steel deck, you can drill the 1/2 inch or 7/16 inch hole with a sharp, high-speed drill bit. For some setups, you may need to drill a pilot hole first. Once the hole is drilled and cleaned, you can install the faucet by threading the blue hose through the metal cover plate and thin rubber gasket, then through the hole in the countertop. Underneath the countertop, the blue tube will thread first through the large plastic washer, then the lock washer, and finally the wing nut. Secure the faucet with the wing nut. A wrench isn't necessary here, as hand tight will be sufficient to hold the faucet in place. Now it's time to verify that you have a good location for installing the Multipure drinking water system. You'll need to verify that the cold water shutoff valve is in good working condition and is accessible and no more than 3 feet from the desired location of the filter housing. To install the adapting valve to your plumbing connection, first turn off the supply of cold water by turning off the valve. Disconnect the hose that attaches the cold water side of your kitchen faucet. This is typically a 3/8 inch or 1/2 inch braided hose. You can adapt the valve sent with your Multipure by selecting either the 3/8 configuration or the 1/2 inch configuration. No plumber's tape is necessary when connecting the adapting valve to your plumbing. Use the adjustable wrench and adjustable or channel lock pliers to tighten the nuts of the adapting valve to your cold water supply valve. Then reattach the cold water line from your kitchen faucet to the free end of the adapting valve. Wipe all of the connections dry. Do not turn on the water supply yet at this point. Mount the stainless steel housing to your cabinet wall by marking the desired location of the mounting bracket. Position the bracket low enough so that you'll have easy access to attach the tubing to the top of the housing without pinching the tubes. Drill 4 pilot holes, then secure the mounting bracket to the cabinet wall. Secure the filter housing to the mounting bracket by tilting the bottom out and allowing the hooks of the bracket to bite into the top edges of the V-band. Then tilt the housing back to vertical and let it settle into the teeth of the mounting bracket. Attach the 3/8 inch inlet tubing to the adapting valve located at the cold water connection. Connect by inserting the tubing until you feel resistance, then press a bit harder to make sure the tubing is seated properly. See how the tube must pass through the internal O-ring to create a proper seal. Repeat this process by connecting the red 3/8 inch tube to the red inlet fitting offset on the top of the housing, as well as the blue 1/4 inch faucet tubing to the blue outlet connector in the center of the top of the housing. It is best not to cut down the tubing, as gently sloping curves in the tubes are ideal. Make sure there are no sharp bends or kinks in the tubing, and make sure that the tubes go straight into the fittings without excessive sideways force placed on the fittings. Now it's time to start up your filter system. Turn the filtered water faucet to the on position, which is about a 1/8 turn clockwise. Below the sink, turn on the water pressure to the cold water line and verify that the blue handle on the adapting valve is in the on position, which is in line with the red tube. You'll hear the sound of rushing air as it is purged through the filter system. It will take about 5 to 10 seconds for most of the air to purge out of the filter through the faucet. The first amount of water that will come out will be black or brown. That is normal and is a result of carbon dust being flushed out of your Multipure filter. The water should clear up in just a few seconds. Turn off the filtered water faucet and inspect all of the connections below the sink. Start with the 3 connections of the adapting valve, looking for any leaks. You can use a dry paper towel to help determine if there are any small leaks. If a leak is detected, turn off the water supply and verify that the threaded connections are tight and that the tube connections are pressed firmly into place. Repeat this process with all connections until you are confident that there are no leaks. Once you've verified that there are no leaks, it's time to flush the filter system. Turn the filtered water faucet to the on position and allow water to flow to waste for about 15 minutes. This will help purge air and loose carbon from the system. You can verify the flow rate of the filter system of 1 gallon per minute for the Aqua Perform, 3/4 of a gallon per minute for the Aqua Versa, and 1/2 gallon per minute for the Aqua Mini. If the water is flowing too fast, you can adjust the handle of the adapting valve to slow the flow to the required flow rate. After flushing the filter and verifying the flow rate, inspect all of the connections below the sink again for any leaks that you may have missed the first time. Congratulations! Your Multipure drinking water system is now installed and ready to provide your family hundreds of gallons of clean, refreshing water.